I get it. We all want to be that girl who reads before bed, who always has a book in her bag, and who stays up to date with all the book talk and booktube trends. But that's not me because I'm really, really lazy, and reading can feel like a productive chore sometimes. So, if you are as lazy as I am, then this is a video for you because I will give you some tips and tricks that helped me fall back in love with reading, become a reader, and still be lazy as fuck. So, stay tuned. Hey guys, it's me, Renie. Thank you for clicking on this video. So, I don't know about you, but I am a very lazy girl who really wants to become a reader. It's really hard for me to concentrate on one specific task for a prolonged time because I'm very impatient. I love to chill, but I also love efficiency. So, reading is actually something that is going against my natural ways. I still want to be a reader because I am an adult. I'm almost 30, and it's important to have things in your life, to do things in your free time that are offline, of course, but that are also intellectual because you always want to learn, you always want to grow. And reading is, in my opinion, one of the most perfect ways to do exactly that. You can imagine new worlds, you can feel empathy with different people and different situations. So, here are some tips and tricks that helped me to fall back in love with reading, to become a reader without compromising on my lazy girl ways. Let's get right into it. Number one, there is no right or wrong book to read. Just read what you love. Because if you love thrillers, you will read thrillers. If you love celebrity memoirs, then read them. If you love spicy TikTok fantasy shadow daddy romances, read them because they're actually really funny and also good. Just read what you love and it will be so much easier. I'm telling you this because when I was younger, I read a lot of fantasy, I read a lot of young adult stuff, and I read so much because I actually enjoyed what I read. As an adult, later in life, I started to focus on reading classics like Tolstoy, like George Orwell, like Shakespeare, even, or the German classics since I live in Germany, like Goethe and stuff like that. And I still enjoy them, but I realized that I didn't pick up my books too often since I only focused on reading the classics. I only focused on looking, especially intellectual. That's why I wasn't really in there with my heart. When I started to just read whatever I wanted to read, spicy romance books, thrillers, celebrity memoirs, classics, if I wanted to, it became so much easier to pick those books up because I started to really think about the plot and think about, oh, what's going to happen next? So I want to read that. Yeah. I know it's an easy trick and something that probably a lot of people already told you, but it's true. Just read what you want. It's that easy. Number two is about BookTok, actually, because BookTok is not the enemy. I see a lot of discourse online whether BookTok books are especially good or especially bad, but you know what? It doesn't matter, in my opinion. If people like something, it's because of reasons. And those reasons don't have to resonate with you personally, but they are still there. It's the same with Taylor Swift. A lot of people love her. Me too, because I'm a Swiftie. But there are a lot of people who don't get it. And I just think, who cares? Like, you don't have to get why a lot of people love things. They just love it, and that's totally fine. And that's also with BookTok. BookTok is not this one thing because there are a lot of different creators on BookTok and BookTube who specialize in different genres. So you can find a creator that really speaks to you and to your preferences in books. So don't view books that are very hyped on BookTok as bad and something you cannot read now, but give them a chance because you will find some real cool things. For me, I really didn't want to read a lot of romance books when they started to become big on BookTok because I felt like, oh, now the teenagers are reading this. I'm an adult. This is not for me. But I just started last year actually, and I started with The Love Hypothesis. Let me show you. Wait, I have a lot of books here. Okay, The Love Hypothesis. I started with this book and it really changed me because Ellie Hazelwood is an author who was really hyped on BookTok, or I think she still is hyped. And I thought, okay, if she is hyped, then this book must be bad and it's just for the teenage girlies. That's what I thought. But reading it, I really enjoyed it and I kicked my feet and I was like, oh my God, did he really say that? So just enjoy reading. And then I started to read other romance novels from BookTok and I realized they are not as bad as people make them out to be. Just enjoy them. It's reading. And reading always helps to get in touch with your emotional side, with your empathetic side, to really be in the head of another character and to see the world with their eyes. And I think that is what's most important while reading, not what you read. Hack number 3 is my absolute favorite one, and it's reading and listening to the audiobook at the same time. I know this sounds probably very blasphemous, but for me it was a real lifesaver. When I started to focus on becoming a reader and really wanted to read more, it was hard for me to concentrate when I was in trains or in busy cafes or even in my apartment when I had a roommate, since it was a little bit louder. So I started putting in music, but music is not as easy for me to listen while reading a book since I'm listening to the lyrics. Sometimes I'm singing along. And I don't really love classical music or instrumentals while reading. It can work for some people, but for me, not so much. And then I had the idea to just listen to the audiobook version of my book. So I used Audible, not sponsored, by the way, just really a fan. I used Audible to search for the books that I had in my hand. Most of them were on Audible, which is really cool. And then I just listened to the narrator while reading along. It can really help you to be immersed in a world, to stay focused. And when you listen to your audiobook while reading, you can put the audiobook on 1.5 times or even 2 times speed, since your brain is hearing and reading at the same time, which is way easier for it to comprehend. So that's what I did. And it helped me to bring up my book count to 2 books a month, 3 books a month, since I was hearing and reading at 2 times speed. But I'm not using that hack anymore. Since I started reading for a longer time now, for a few years, it became easier for me to just read a little bit and be with my own thoughts. So this can be a nice hack for you to get into the habit of reading, but you don't have to stick with that if it's not for you. Just do what feels right for you. For me, it was a good way to get into it, but right now I just enjoy reading like that. But I wanted to give it to you since when I say that to other people in my life, they always look super surprised because they never heard of that before. So that's why I'm telling you, and maybe it helps. Number 4, audiobooks count, period. Yeah, I already told you Audible was a lifesaver for me because I had the possibility to read and listen at the same time. But if you don't want to read, just listen to the books, man. That's totally fine. If you listen to a plot, you still consumed it and it still counts as reading. Don't let BookTok or other people tell you something else because they are jealous or don't know what to do with their lives. It's totally fine. If you are not really vibing with Audible or you want to just know what's out there, I also loved to use Storytel. I'm not sure if they are still available, but I strongly think so. It's also an app like Audible where you can listen to audiobooks, but Audible has the newer books, in my opinion, and Storytel has a lot of classics. So that's what I used when I wanted to read or listen to Omer or Tolstoy or stuff like that. So you can check that out. I'm gonna put a screenshot somewhere here so you know how this app looks. And I think there's a free trial. It's not sponsored, of course. There's a free trial, and after that, it's a monthly cost, but unlimited access to all the books. So that's totally cool. Check that out. Lesson number 5 is about romanticizing reading because I think it's really easy for lazy people to see reading as something super productive, and that's why it's harder to just chill while reading. At least that's what happened with me. Because when I started to read more, it felt like I had to check it off of my to-do list. I'll be like, okay, today I went to work and then I did that and then I went to sports and now I'm reading. And then I sat down and read 1 hour and wasn't concentrating and felt stupid. But when I just started to not see that as a chore, not see that as a to do, just see that as something that I wanted to do to really have self care and to really just focus on myself, that's when it started to click for me. I light up a candle, I make myself a really nice cup of tea, and I just sit down on my sofa and read a few pages. It doesn't have to be too long. If I'm not feeling 2 hours today, I'm not going to read for 2 hours. If I just want to read 2 or 3 pages, I'm going to read 2 or 3 pages. And then after that, I'm going to listen to myself, feel into myself, see what I want to do. If I then want to take my phone and scroll on the internet, I'm gonna do that, to be honest, but I read before that, and even if it's just 1 or 2 pages. So just try to see reading as something that is good for you and not a productive chore like taking the trash out. Okay, when you started to implement reading while doing your self care routine, let's say you light a candle, let's say you use it while you have your skincare routine going on. Try also to implement reading into your daily life when you have that time. You're commuting to work or to school or to university. You're waiting for the next train. That really helped me. So I'm always carrying a book with me. That's why I really love those paperbacks because it just fits into my bags better than hardcover books. I will just take that out when I have the urge to take out my phone for no reason, at least. If there is a phone call I have to take or if someone messaged me, that's another story, of course. But if I just really feel the urge to just take my phone, go on social media and scroll, I will just calm myself down and take a book. I will just start reading. And even if I'm just waiting for 5 minutes for the next train, I'm going to read a few lines or just one page. These few pages will add to a whole chapter, maybe, or even 2 chapters while you're just commuting. I think this is a game changer. And the last lesson is about setting goals. So if you are as lazy as me, but you still want to be ambitious and still want to be productive, set your goals the lazy girl way. Don't think about reading 200 books a year. It will not happen, for sure. But still set goals so you have something to work towards. If you don't set goals, you will not succeed in life, in my opinion. But if you think, I will read 3 books this whole year, then do that. This is a doable task. 3 books a year means not even 1 book every 3 months. Why shouldn't that be possible? Even while you are studying or while you are working full time, that's possible. Search for a goal that is possible for you. Drop it just a little bit, not too much, of course, but just a little bit to make it even more doable for you, and then stick to it. That's what I want to give you for my last hack. That's it. Nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking, but just my honest hacks on how I became a reader and how I fell back in love with reading. So if you are in your lazy girl era, but you really want to grow and reconnect with your inner world, these hacks might help you. If not, that's totally fine. Just let me know in the comments if they helped or not. And if you have hacks that you utilize, please also share them in the comments. Maybe there is something that I can learn. That would be so cool. Thank you for watching. And here are my last 2 videos I posted. See you next week. Bye.